Bling, bling, click, click. Raise your hand. Don't speak unless you're spoken to. Inmate, was I talking to you? Don't speak unless you're spoken to. The first time you heard is in a school setting. The second one, yeah, you guessed, in a prison. Both are supposed to be extremely different, but are shockingly similar. This affects African Americans as well as other minorities at a rate of 21%. This issue is called the prison to school pipeline. Many of you have gone to schools in underprivileged areas or even read about what's going on with police and student interactions as well as is being affected by it. After doing extensive research on the topic, I have gathered enough information to increase the knowledge of what's going on in schools today and not only affect some of you, but can affect the future generation as well. Going to underprivileged schools in low-income areas, you see things in a different light that many of you cannot see or be affected by. But some of you have lived on a different side of the spectrum and may not see or have turned a blind eye to the situation known as the prison to school pipeline. If you don't mind, give me a couple minutes of your time with a clear conscience so that you can see things on a different light on how it affects mental health behaviors, affects proactive citizens, and how we can fix the issue before it's too late. When you look at the evidence presented, you see many kids are being put in environments that not only affect their lives ahead, it affects them mentally and behavior-wise. According to the data collected by the ACLU, minority students from preschool to grade school are more likely to be expelled or suspended than a non-minority student. Minority students are 1.5 times more likely to be expelled and 2.3 times more likely to be disciplined through police involvement. Preschool students are 3.6 times more likely to receive 1 or 2 days of out-of-school suspension. More police are being hired in schools than counselors. The Zero Tolerance Act was supposed to be placed in school for gun control, with students bringing guns into school. But now it is being used by police officers to control the discipline of students more than reacting with students. Reports show that there are 5,400 police officers in schools, and this does not include 200 non-uniformed police officers. This affects students tremendously. Instead of some taking them to begin to lash out and begin the journey of interacting with law enforcement. Students are beginning to decline in mental health as well as lack of doing schoolwork as well as participating with others. Schools are finding more ways that they feel are effective than counselors with problems. Schools have found ways to do in-school suspension, detention, Saturday school, multiple days of suspension, and expelling instead of seeing what's going on with the students in and outside of the school building. Only the schools in low-income areas are affected versus above income. Students show that schools in low-income areas are more likely to see police officers, metal detectors, and see police force on students than students not in the area. Take a moment to think. Have you ever seen a police officer in your school? Have you ever had to walk through a metal detector? A time for change is now. A better school for all students, no matter race or family income. So here are the things we can do to move forward. I have researched and found ways to better our system and end the dangerous pipeline. Remove police from school. Police should not be in low-income schools more than they are in higher-income schools. If you're going to have them in one place, you shouldn't have them in the other. Take the fear out of school. School should be an environment where kids feel safe as well as parents feel safe. Take prison feel away. Uniforms, overly restricted environments. I know this may have seemed like I have given you a lot of information and overwhelmed you with too much. But all I am telling you is to change the system today, we have to change ourselves and how we see the world. Everything is not always black and white. It is clear. We as a people and a community need to step forward and do what is right for the new generation. End the pipeline and save the next generation.